Welcome to another community check-in. I'm Dr. Emma Craythorne, I'm the founder of Klira, and I'm delighted for everyone who's going to join us tonight while we're talking to one of our community members, and actually an amazing person, but also somebody who probably knows more than most of us what the beauty industry means and everything that there is to do with the beauty industry. So tonight I'm going to be joined by Roberta Schroeder, and she is a luxury e-commerce senior editor for Harper's Bazaar and for ELLE and Esquire. And I always kind of think that there's probably only a few other people in the world who have to know their A game when it comes to skin as much as a dermatologist. And one of these certainly is the people who write about all things skincare and beauty and dermatology. So I'm really excited that she's going to be joining us tonight. Yay! Hello, Roberta.
Hi.
I'm always so nervous because I've had this huge issue with Instagram when we've done our lives where people can't hear us. So hopefully anybody who's joining and listening now, please send hearts and loves and let us know that you can actually hear this conversation that's happening, because it's always something that makes me feel really nervous. But it looks like, yes, people can hear us, so that's great. Thank you so much for doing this. It's just brilliant to be able to check in with you this way.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And when I saw you last week at that event that we were at, and I got to see in real life how great your skin was looking, I was even more excited to be able to do this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've not actually been using Klira for that long yet, but the change. I mean, you saw me on the day that I first got my prescription, and the change has been pretty amazing.
So do you mind just to run through, because the whole purpose of me doing this is so that, you know, I've worked in this industry for so long, as have you, and just for those people who are just joining us now, Roberta knows this industry inside out. You know, she is a very senior editor for luxury magazines, luxury e-commerce, and knows probably more about beauty journalism than you know, than most people. And I was just saying as well, Roberta, that um, you must feel under a lot of pressure doing the job that you do for your skin to look good.
Yes, definitely. I think there's sort of a fair preconception that anyone that is lucky enough to work in the beauty industry must just be walking around with perfect skin all of the time, which obviously isn't the truth. I mean, I think, you know, what a lot of skincare brands probably don't want to mention is that it's your genetics and your lifestyle play a huge role in how your skin looks on the outside. And I also think there is so much out there now that it's very, very easy to do more harm than good when you're playing with topicals, especially if you haven't got a dermatologist guidance, which again can be complicated because there are a lot of brands that sort of play it quite fast and loose with the word doctor and the word professional. And I think it must be so easy for a consumer that doesn't work in the industry and doesn't have all the level of access and education that we have to buy a whole line of something because it says that it's going to work for them on the bottle, and actually we don't know what's inside these products.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, you've been, you know, doing this for what, 15 years now? Is it, that's how long you've been?
Yeah, I'm actually 78. Yeah, it's been a while.
See how good it is. um, so you, I mean, I noticed this change and move to things saying, you know, dermatologist suggested, dermatologist proven, doctor led, science driven, prescription, prescribed. I mean, the whole move to this, and when you really delve deep into it, you know, this is not a prescription only medicine for some things. These are not, you know, prescribed drugs. These are not medical professional skincare. Whenever you really drive down into them, and I mean, it frustrates me whenever we are creating something that actually is that. And I can imagine it must be so confusing for consumers to say, do you get feedback from about things like that, that people are saying to you, I mean, I have no idea what to buy. I don't understand what these terms mean.
Oh yeah, all of the time. And I also think that actually, as someone who works in this industry, you would assume that I would find it incredibly easy. I could walk into a Space NK like with my eyes closed and pick out exactly what would work for me. But I actually think the more you read around skincare, sometimes the more confusing it gets, and you know, the more you know, the less you know, really, because every ingredient out there is angled by some brand's marketing team to be somehow right for you. You know, you look at niacinamide, and pretty much anyone in the world can find something out there that says they should be slapping loads of it on every day. So I think it's completely understandable that people that don't work in this industry must be absolutely baffled by which of these you must have actives should they be using, and how many should they be using, and morning or night. And it's completely baffling.
I think one of the things that used to resonate with me was when I would have people come into my clinic and they would, you know, they worked really hard at their skin. They read as many things as they could about their skin. They watched YouTube videos and Instagram posts, and they really tried to understand what their skin was like and what they should be doing for it. And a bit like you've just said, they just got so confused because they would buy this thinking, okay, this is going to be suitable for their skin, but actually it might well be suitable for somebody's skin, but it's not necessarily going to be suitable for that person that, you know, has then gone and bought it. And then, like you say, then that's whenever people run into problems. So there is a lot of ingredient focus. There's a lot this idea that the stronger the ingredient is, the better. There is this idea that you know, this one pot of chemicals can, you know, suit every skin type, and it doesn't. And for somebody like you who's a skin size 1, we know that you fall into this group of people that actually end up sometimes, you know, getting a bit more sensitivity to things, and actually that sensitivity in itself can then cause more problems, can cause spots, and can cause other issues just from the treatment itself. Is that something that you find as a skin size 1?
Yeah, definitely. I've obviously tried probably hundreds of products, you know, in the past decade, and because my skin is quite acne prone, but I'm also sort of pigmentation prone, and that's both sort of acne marks and also like hormonal melasma, which is obviously quite difficult to treat with a topical. So I've tried, probably everything out there, and more products, and they probably gave me more products, more problems than they actually solved. In the sensitivity, because I've got rosacea as well, is that it's such a tricky balance to find something that works for my pigmentation that doesn't leave me just completely red, which obviously isn't what you want. And it can be really, really difficult to find something, which is why I think so many people spend all of the money and all of their time, and they learn the hard way that a lot of these products aren't right for them, that they then end up in front of a dermatologist who can actually set them on the right path, because a lot of these ingredients can be great, but you know, you do need to work up to the strength slowly, and you know, also sometimes you don't need to work up to a really high strength, and that's we shouldn't be expected to understand that as consumers. That is obviously what you are here for.
Yeah, exactly. And that was part of the reason of setting up Klira in the first place, is because I was seeing exactly this in clinic. And then I thought, well, there has to be some way in which that we can, you know, treat more people and service more people and help them get, you know, the luxury, gorgeous experience that one really wants to have with skincare. But actually it's going to work, and it's not going to harm their skin, and it's not going to cause the problems that we often see. So do you mind just to explain a little bit about the process of what happened whenever you joined Klira, the consultation process and things like that, just for people who are kind of joining and want to understand what happens to a skin size 1, you tricky skin sizes.
We're so difficult.
But we love you.
So obviously there are, it's pretty easy. It takes a while, but that's obviously a good thing. You want the questionnaire to be thorough. It takes a lot longer than other services that are out there. You obviously send a lot of photos of your naked face away and answer quite a lengthy questionnaire that looks into your sort of your lifestyle habits, not just how your skin looks, but how it feels and how it changes throughout the day, and pretty much everything. And then I think within 24 hours, maybe, your team had got back to me and told me I was skin size 1 and that my custom cream was on the way. So it's
And
pretty easy.
when you got that feedback back to say you were skin size 1 and you read what a skin size was, did that resonate with you?
Yeah, yeah. Um, it was, like to a T, completely right. Which I kind of was skeptical about, to be honest, because you do wonder how accurate doing, you know, not seeing someone, not everyone will see you in person, and you do wonder how thorough these things can be. But mine was completely spot on. It was actually quite spooky.
Those questions are derived from this pretty standardized questionnaire that was developed around about maybe 15, 20 about 15 years ago, and it's been tested globally around the world for all different ethnicities, all different ages, and different genders. And we kind of adapted it so that it would be a little bit more up to date and take into account some of the things that we now understand about how lifestyle plays a factor in how your skin is. And then when COVID came along, this was my opportunity to be able to test this theory, because I couldn't see patients in real life in my clinic. And so I was able to then, instead of seeing them in clinic, be able to send out these questionnaires and, upload the photographs. So we had almost about a good year of seeing patients in that way when COVID was in its real peak, for these kind of consultations that weren't considered true emergencies. So then whenever it then, COVID had finished, we could then actually assess to see, did this work? Were these questions, did they align with how people's skin were? So that's actually where the test came into play. So for almost everybody, you should hopefully get this sense of, oh my gosh, that is exactly what my skin is like, and that's how it behaves.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of idiot proof, really. And, the thing that I like about it the most is that you're not really asking the client to tell you what their skin type is, because we all get it wrong. I am a beauty editor and I get that wrong all the time. So it's, you're filling in questions that you know the answer to, and then you decide what kind of skin size the client is.
Yeah, that's right. The only thing you can't do is try and impress the questionnaire. So sometimes I have some people complete it. They're like, oh, but I want to say that I don't do this when I actually do. Then you can get tricked out. But actually, even as a dermatologist, unless we sit and think about our own skin, it's exactly the same thing. You think, oh, I assume my skin is going to be like this. But until you sit and break it down like a dermatologist looking at your skin, even as the dermatologist being the patient at the other side, we all get it wrong. So that's right. It's how about your skin feels and answering the questions. But I'm never asking you, have you got rosacea? Have you got melasma? Because, nobody really knows the answer to that. And then you got your little klira in the post. Yay! They're so pretty, aren't they?
A very good looking product.
I just love them. And tell me, if you don't mind, to share what your routine is. And the reason why I love this is because most people who are skin size 1 will resonate with the routine that you have. So your SPF, your cleanser, your moisturizer is actually going to resonate really strongly with all of the other skin size 1s out there. The rest of you skin sizes, some of these will be relevant, but most of them might not be. So, but for skin size 1s, this is a good one. So what do you do in a day?
So I've got my products here, actually, I think. So I'm really purposefully boring, because I've learned the hard way that using everything that ever passes my desk is not the wisest of ideas. So it's boring. So it's I've got a cream cleanser. This is the Skin Rocks one,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
Yes, I like that one.
Nice. It's it's just boring. It's really good. Yeah, melts makeup, does the job. But CeraVe do a nice one. The Roche-Posay, I don't think you need to spend a lot, especially on a cleanser.
Yeah.
So it's that morning and night, and then obviously my Klira in the evening, and then a CeraVe moisturizer, and what's this? And then this La Roche-Posay sunscreen, the one that is for pigmentation, the new Mela.
Yes, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice. It doesn't break you out, or it doesn't break me out, and it's lovely. And that's it. I might stick a hyaluronic acid serum in if I fancy it, but that's actually it. Since I've started on my dedicated Klira, and it's working.
And so where are you in the journey now, just so everybody can understand? I mean, I have read your article, which I'm going to put in the link below, because honestly, it was amazing. It was, so everybody asked me, what is Klira? And I try and explain to them, but I'm not very good at explaining it in a very coherent way. So I actually think I'm just going to say, this is what Klira is. Please read Roberta's article, because she summarizes it perfectly. We'll link it below. But where are you in your journey of your onboarding with Klira?
So I am on month 4, which means I started in February. And I started, I think you might know better than me, I started on a very low dose of tretinoin at 0.001.
At 0.01.
0.01.
one, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. And 15% azelaic acid, which is great, has always been really great for my sort of rosacea flares. So I started on that in February, and I've used some other tretinoin products before from dermatologists, some of, you know, the more classic American brands, and they've been way too strong for me. And I've tried all the sort of hacks, you know, the moisture sandwiching and all that kind of stuff. And I just think if something is too strong for your face, don't try and hack your way into using it. Just don't use it.
Yeah.
I haven't got on with it in the past. I've had, you know, sort of dermatitis all around here, which is where your skin goes kind of almost kind of bumpy and really sore and itchy. And it just hasn't really worked for me. So I was a little bit nervous about the tretinoin, but this was obviously quite a low dose. And honestly, I went straight in using it every night, and it was within a week. I couldn't believe the improvements that I was already seeing. I didn't have any of the irritation that I've had with other strong actives, none of the dryness, honestly, just nothing, none of it. And so, yeah, since then, I've just been using it loyally.
And so what are you up to now? You're at 0.04, I think, if I remember correctly.
0.04.
Yeah, which is a real, you know, that is a strong number.
Yeah.
So when we think about tretinoin and the effect that it can have for the skin, the those lower strengths are really good at kind of targeting the superficial part of the skin. So you'll see an increase in skin cell turnover. You'll get that glow. You get those kind of like glowy changes that get associated with it. But it's really once it starts to get above 0.025 is whenever it starts to have a much more of a really deeper effect and a more profound effect on the skin. At 0.04 is a great number. And, you know, really when you're in 0.04, 0.05 is whenever you're starting to see that real effect that I know that you'll be wanting to use it for in your skin as well. And what kind of changes have you noticed then, if you don't mind to share?
Yeah. So the thing that I noticed right away was how it was really calming my skin down. So I'm, you know, incredibly sort of tantrum prone in that, you know, I wash my face and it goes red.
Is that your
Or
personality or skin?
so so yeah, just, you know, I've just got a red
Yeah.
face. I've got a red face. So yeah, the first thing I noticed was that it just went within a week, completely had gone. And then I noticed I have quite bad hormonal acne, so, you know, for sort of 5 days of a month, I'll be sort of all, you know, all along here, which I'm sure lots of people can relate to. It's quite red and quite angry. And then that time of the month came around, and my skin was better than great. Nothing, like no issues. So that was kind of the first improvements that I saw. And then now that I'm on month 4, I've noticed that my melasma, which you can probably see slightly, is faded a lot. It was really prominent. I grew up by the sea, and obviously no one wore sun cream in the 90s. So I've earned this real sort of pigmentation stripe right across my face, and it's almost gone.
Yeah.
This is 4 months in, so not that long.
Not that long, and we're in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
So, you know, that is the key. So that's testament to your really good SPF, obviously, but actually it's testament to the fact that this skin cell turnover is moving quickly, and the azelaic acid that it is a good strength as well for pigmentation. So you do have that combination for both of those things. And do you now find that do you find your skin is more reliable for if you are testing out new makeup products, or, you know, if you've got events to go to, do you feel your skin's a bit more reliable for you?
Yeah, I do. I feel like the redness really isn't much of an issue for me anymore, which is something that honestly nothing has been able to sort of affect really before. So that's the big one for me. But I do feel I don't wear a lot of sort of foundation makeup myself, but I find that when I do, it just tends to look
Yeah.
better, and that's because the skin underneath is better. So yeah, it's honestly it's just amazing. You know, it's amazing. But
Oh,
yeah.
no, thank you. Honestly, thank you so much. And we just do these super short and super sweet. And I'm so grateful for you for sharing your journey for all the SkinSize One people, so they can, you know, understand about what the process and what it's like and what other supporting things that you like for your routine. And I'm also really grateful to the article, which I will link below, because it was, I mean, that really explains so coherently what happens at Klira, much better than my crazy mind does.
Oh yeah, honestly, it's the absolute, it's the best skincare product that I have used. It's absolutely brilliant, and I think you've made it so easy in this incredibly overwhelming industry where if you have troubles on skin, you will throw your money at it, because I do, and you will happily jump on everything that promises to help you. And really, you just need this and a basic moisturizer, and it works.
And you're done. And I think that Sophie gave you a code that we could use for your followers as well, that I could put on here as well, because I think she gave you a code and it's better than my code.
Oh yes, it's Roberta
Yeah,
30.
yours is Roberta 30, and so for everyone else, mine is Emma 20. So for anyone who's an Emma follower, can you use Roberta's code because it's better than mine? So I was going to put my code down, but we're just all going to use Roberta's because hers is much better. So it's Roberta 30. Okay, thank you so much, Roberta. Super appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you so much for sorting my skin.
Thanks everybody for joining SkinSize 1. Bye.